Hello, it is I, and I am wearing what is called an hoodie. So this particular one is a PlayStation hoodie, and it's the coziest thing I own now, and I may just keep it on all weekend. For everyone in the UK this weekend, you'll know it's been windy, wild, snowy, sleet, rain, all sorts. Be safe, keep warm, keep dry. Please only travel if you have to. It's crazy. There have been a lot of traffic incidents and just branches everywhere, massive puddles, so keep safe. That's the first message. Secondly, I did get some posts this week, but I'm not going to go through them. They are titles unknown to me, one of which is The Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge. The Arrow Blu-ray of that looks like a fun time. Oh, excuse me. But I've absolutely no knowledge of it whatsoever, so I may wait until I've watched it and get an actual opinion on it. What I was reminded of this week while we were discussing revenge films on the podcast is exactly how we approach our film discussion on the podcast. And I don't think I've mentioned this here before. If I have, apologies. What we do is, let's start with the reason we pick the films. We either like the films, think the films will cause one of the other hosts a certain amount of pain, or don't know the film that well but consider it may prompt some interesting discussion. Those are the things. The specials obviously have themes. Week to week we take turns in getting to pick. That's what we do. Now, if a film is picked to cause others pain, we hope that you are amused by that pain and are amused by the conversation. If it is picked because we love it, we want to share that love of the film and then hopefully either remind you of a title or maybe put it on your radar and have a bit of discussion on it. If it's something we're unaware of, then again, we hope that if any of us do love it, then you would know whether you want to give it a look or not. And we just try and have a discussion around that. Now, if you know my taste, you might think, okay, Kevin likes that, I may like that. Same with Dave. Tyler has his niche, and absolutely, if you like the films that Tyler often likes, you will know if he strongly recommends something, then you will go to that and like it as much as he does. That's, from the films of Harmony Korine to Rob Zombie movies to Zola that we watched the other week. That's it. It's not necessarily that we're discussing every film we want other people to see. So we want you to be able to pick and choose. Having said that, we also want that conversation to reflect our opinion, but try and be a little animated and engaged without having you feel like you're sitting down with a DVD commentary or a Blu-ray commentary, any kind of commentary track. There are podcasts that do that go really in depth, and they are, really good. I listen to, I think it's now over 50 podcasts. A lot of those are movie podcasts, and they all have different approaches. And people who can give you all of that background information and all of the insight, all of the behind the scenes information, that's fantastic stuff. It's more of an academic approach, but it's great. It's full of interesting stuff to get your teeth into. But that's not our approach. Sometimes we want to bring in our ideas of what's running through the film, what's being explored thematically, and the context of the film. And then sometimes I do like to drop in some factoids. But our main approach is just an informal, friendly conversation. That's what we do. If you don't like that by now, we're not really going to be changing that much. So it was nice that you gave us a go, but we're not really changing our ways. Also, I think I've mentioned this before, I do worry that we're sometimes too vague in our summaries of movies, or where we are sort of diving in and out of certain points to discuss. That is deliberate though. We will, for the most part, try to avoid spoilers on pretty much everything that we discuss, and I personally like it that way. I would rather we are too vague about a film that you might then want to check out and realize what we're talking about fully, than go through a film beat by beat by beat from start to finish and have you feeling that you don't even need to sit down and see the film because we've done all that. Again, there are lots of podcasts out there that do that, and people have different preferences for every different style. So I'm not here to say one way is better than the other. I'm just saying the way that we prefer and have settled into over the past, I think it's 4.5, 5 years now. So that's what we do. So those discussions are always going to be less academic, be generally less plot centric in terms of A to B to C, and hopefully non-spoilery, although we do try and give you a heads up. So yeah, you can always drop us a note if there's anything that stands out, or if you were thinking there might be a way to tweak that to steer the conversation slightly. And we take all constructive criticism on board, and we appreciate any and all feedback that we receive. But if you like what we do, or if you hate what we do, you're kind of stuck with us as we are. Having said that, next week's movies are Tyler picked Blush, which sounds like quite the Tyler choice, so we'll see where the discussion goes with that. And I picked Yes Madam, which I picked because it has Michelle Yeoh and Cynthia Rothrock, and I fancied watching either a Cynthia Rothrock film or a Michelle Yeoh film. Realised I didn't have to separate them, could pick a film with both. Have no idea what I've let myself in for. Hoping for good things, but we'll see how the conversation goes with that as well. Again, back to where I started. Be safe, stay sheltered if you can, try not to travel on any roads that can have massive branches falling on them, and we will see you next week.